Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Virtual Networkers on Tuesday, Intimate Crowd today. We are excited to see you all though. And if you're catching the replay, we miss you and I hope you're having a good day so far. We're going to get started with our 30-second introductions. And then we will introduce our speaker, Jade, who is a member of our Wednesday chapter. And then we will finish up with announcements. So I'll kick us off with our 30-second intros. Jade, I'll ask you to go after me. I know you both know me, I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the founder of Virtual Networkers, which I started in 2018 because I wanted to network from home. I felt like very passionately that women could make amazing connections through the webcam and through our virtual worlds. And so far, the experiment is paying off. In fact, just before this meeting, a new member joined this chapter. She hasn't made her way here yet. Her name is Margie. So I love when the proof is in the pudding. So if you two ladies know anyone who would like to join Virtual Networkers or be part of a sisterhood, please direct them to virtualnetworkers.biz so we can welcome them. All right, Miss Jade, I'll have you go, and then Donna.
All right, sounds good. Hi, I'm Jade, and I help businesses be more consistently visible to new and existing customers to grow their profit. And I invest my time and my energy building automated systems and tools to establish small to medium businesses that allow them to increase their online visibility and streamline their marketing so they can be more profitable. So an ideal referral for me is a local business that has repetitive services, like maybe a restaurant, a spa, or chiropractor, but I do have a little bit of something for everyone. So if you've got a favorite local business that can benefit from more visibility and some automated engagement systems, you can find my information in the chat. So I'm Jade Meyerhoffer with KSI Digital, increasing visibility to increase profit.
Awesome. We're looking forward to your presentation today.
Thanks.
All right, Donna, and then Stacy.
Well, hello, ladies. My name is Donna Kendrick, and I am the owner of Septum Financial, where we provide financial planning for families in transition. Whether it be widowhood, divorce, or a blended family, we are here when someone's tomorrow looks very different than their today. I am also the author of A Guide to Widowhood, Navigating the First 3 Years, coming as a live course to a Zoom room near you in September. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I love it. Hi, Stacy.
Good morning. All right, quick. Do you guys know that the lens through which you see your life, through yourself, through others, is actually formed by the time that you're 8 years old? I actually help women between the ages of 40 and 60 break these patterns that they developed in childhood to lead to a more productive life. Can you tell I have not had coffee and I just rolled out of bed? My name is Stacey Ehrig, and my website is flipyourmindset.com. I'm a coach, I'm a trauma specialist, and I'm here to help you find more peace.
You did a great job.
I'm like, oh shit, is there a meeting this morning? Okay.
You've had a pretty big week, so you get it.
It's been a lot.
It's all good, ladies. If you when you do settle in, Stacy, go ahead and do your chat box with your.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay. Donna, do you have Jade's bio, or do you need me to read it? I have it prepared if you don't.
No. I'm not in charge of speakers, am I?
That's me.
I was like, wait, is it? Am I speaker? That was January.
No, I saw your name by the thing. That's why I'm like, I'm going to bring this one with me.
Oh my God. Thanks.
I understand. Don't worry about it. It's my pleasure to introduce Jade. And I know she did a great 30-second intro, but let me just read her official bio. Jade uses simple systems and technology to help businesses stand out from the competition and grow. With a style that is a combination of creativity and efficiency, she helps implement solutions that make a great first impression, grab attention, and continue to build a relationship through digital tools and automation. And I just learned that Miss Jade used to live in Spartanburg, which is where I am now. Isn't that funny? I love that stuff. Jade, take it away.
All right, you know how I am whenever I get this share going. Here, let's make sure I get it.
It's never elegant. It never is.
No, it's never.
We should have like Jeopardy music.
Okay,
honey.
Do you see, are you seeing the picture of me and George, or are you seeing my screen?
We see George and you.
Of course, I do that every time. Hold on.
But it's a lovely picture. It makes me smile.
At least it was something nice.
Yeah, right? It wasn't anything incriminating. You have 2 monitors?
Yeah, I have 2 monitors, but I always struggle getting how about now? I always struggle get the PowerPoint being shared.
Not
Are
seeing
you
anything
guys?
yet. Not yet.
All right, hold on.
It's all right.
Luckily, there's only a small crowd for my wonderful performance.
We've all been
here.
there. I don't know how many times I've had like, where the heck? You would think I would know better by now, right? All these meetings I run.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I've done it a few times, and every time it just seems like it doesn't want to show what I want it to show. Let me try this screen and just see if I can.
Oh, I think you're getting warmer.
How
There
about
you
now?
go. You got it.
Okay. All right. Normally, when I present in my other things, my screens are different labeled, so we're all good.
Yes, you're good.
Okay. All right. So hi, everyone. I am Jade Meyerhoffer. Good to see you this morning. What I'm going to go through is I'll tell you a little bit about me too, because I haven't really gotten to know all of you yet. As Jill said, I am from, well, I lived in Spartanburg once, but I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I think Stacy joined in later to hear that. I grew up in Pennsylvania and wanted to get away from the snow. So that was my venture. I had an opportunity to move down to Spartanburg, spend some time down in South Carolina, in Columbia, in Myrtle Beach, in Hilton Head for several years, all wonderful places. And then had an opportunity to move down to the Tampa, Florida area. And I was down there for about 10 years, just bopping around and spent a lot of time. My background is retail. So I was a trainer and a merchandiser and a regional manager and did a lot of fun different things from a different marketing perspective. While I was down in Tampa, that's kind of when my really online marketing bug bit, because I started doing websites for some local towns and for some nonprofits, and it just went from there. And I've always loved it ever since, and I see opportunities everywhere when it comes to marketing. So it really keeps me excited and staying creative. So I'm now back up north in Maryland, so not too far from where I grew up, but in the Chesapeake Bay. And, this is the favorite time of the year for us because we get to head out in the boat, enjoy the water and the sun. And, this winter has been very nice and not too much snow. So it hasn't bothered me too much. So anyway, so what I'm going to talk about today is just an overview of the approach that we use when we evaluate businesses for marketing. And I'm going to cover a lot of information. Probably each of these things I'm going to go over. Each bullet point could probably be a presentation on its own, but I like to share it in a short format just to kind of, sometimes we need to step back and say, okay, where am I? What am I missing? All of you have some pieces in place. Maybe you've got all the pieces in place that you like, or maybe we'll prompt you some ideas as well. And you can feel free to ask any questions. Although I typically work with local businesses, I also have worked with coaches and, different type of people who are just focused on online marketing as well. So it varies. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so we're going to go over the level up strategy. So this is just the process to evaluate the business to kind of see where you are to get started. And the first level we're going to go over is the digital storefront. Then we're going to talk about community, reputation, your core enhancements, and traffic. I'm a big believer in traffic. Everybody wants new customers, new clients coming in and eyeballs on things. So I'm a big believer in creating the foundation before we get to that. So that's why that's kind of level 5. And we look at everything else and make sure we have a good foundation in place. So, all right. So the digital storefront, if you are thinking of a local business and someone peeking in that digital storefront, that's kind of what your presence is online. You have a couple different windows that people can look in. You may have a Google business profile. Even if you're not a local business, this can be helpful just to kind of get that search results in your local area potentially. If you have a website, a blog, a landing page, that's another window that people are looking in. And social media is that third window. And the social media, of course, varies by which platforms you're on, etc. That's a whole, another world we can dive into. But all of these are places where your customer can come and find you. And if they're stalking you, then maybe they've heard about you, they're checking you out in all these places, looking for, are you consistent? What's going on? What information are you sharing? Do I feel like I connect with you, etc. So that's really just their first look at it. And this is the basic foundation that we build from. So level 2 then is where we find the biggest opportunity really is the community piece. You have some kind of an existing audience if you've been in business for a period of time, and these are the people who know and love you. And often we miss the opportunity to engage with them and keep them coming back for more, and making sure we really just have a good nurture process in place, and we're consistently engaging with them. And they're, that can be exhausting sometimes because you want to give that personal touch, but also thinking about what systems that you can use to kind of help you with that and take some of that off your plate, but still make it personal. So definitely a repeat customer is a lot easier for you to continue to serve than maybe gathering that new one. Sometimes it's tough to build that know, like, and trust initially, but if you've already got them. So I want to talk a little bit on this level, just about, where are you gathering your people? And this is just food for thought here. There's lots of ways that you can build your community and stay connected with that top 20% that really is going to make the biggest impact on your business. So just listed here, we've got social media posts, we've got email messages, text messages, and push notifications. And I want to just talk about these, whether you have a Facebook page or Facebook group set up, or you have built some type of membership. For example, we've got that here in Virtual Networkers, or you have an app, or there's lots of different ways that you can create that connection where people can go to it. But how do you then message out to bring them back on a regular basis is what we're looking at here. So social media, this can be inexpensive, if you do it yourself, but it takes some time. And, it also, might be easier to have someone to help you with that. Same thing with email. Again, can be inexpensive. A lot of people can do it themselves, but it takes a little bit of time unless you have someone assist you with it. Text messages. This is something that most businesses are going to outsource or subscribe to some kind of a service. You have to have some kind of a service to do this in any kind of a large quantity. Text messaging, I will just say, is becoming very interesting right now because there's some regulations and things that are going on. So if this is something you've been considering, you have any questions about, you can let me know, because we're really in the industry going through just trying to get the spammers out of there and making sure the messages that are going out is legitimate. On the other side of what's going on, it'll be great because it'll be, messages that people really want and not the spam, but it's just challenging for us to make sure that we're all verified and things are going smooth. So, and then push notifications are, if you've created a mobile app, you can do push notifications out to your subscribers. They subscribe and they can get your messages. So mobile app is a great way to brand your business and get your message out there and really just collect your community. So along with these, some things to consider is social media just doesn't have the reach that it used to. The organic reach is really typically like 6 to 10%. You may have a more active community or group, and so that there are variables there. But it definitely isn't as high as we would want it to be without paid ads. Email, we see about 10 to 30%. Again, that open rate depends on how active your community is, how long you've been building that group, how excited they are to see your messages coming in. When we get to text messaging and push notifications, really, those are like a 90% open rate. You think people have their phone, that pops up there. It's like our instant, we have to look at it. We hear the ding, or we see just the screen flash, and we have to go and look at it. And so these are things that can go directly to them. And these are also opt-in. So this is the people who want to hear your message. So definitely an opportunity there if you're looking for, how can I just collect my community and also expand? So, all right. So level 3 that we look at is your reputation. And I really look at this from 3 aspects, because everybody just thinks of reputation management or as a singular function, but really there's the building, the managing, and the marketing piece. So step 1 is the building, like just asking for the feedback. A lot of times people don't ask for someone to give them a testimonial or a review, or depending on where you're building that reputation for yourself. A lot of local businesses rely on Google, and that has become a little bit challenging depending on what other networks you're in, whether it's Facebook, if you're on Alignable, if you are, any other places where you might be building your testimonials. Maybe you just take them in personally and you put them on your website, but just the asking for it and collecting those is really the first part. The next thing is the managing. And another place where we really have an opportunity is just responding. Some businesses do a great job, but most don't do a great job of responding to all of their reviews. And especially from a local business perspective where you're utilizing Google, the response is great to the person who left the review, but it's also for the person who's coming to read it after. So think of that. If you are responding to your reviews, like even if you get a bad review, you can turn a 1-star review into a 5-star by just the right response. The next person that reads it may be like, wow, I really like that response, or I'm impressed at how they responded to XYZ. I'm going to give them a chance and go there. So it just depends on the overall scope of that. And then the marketing, this is where are we sharing it? A lot of people are putting some testimonials on their website, which is huge. Are you sharing it on social media? Are you sharing this everywhere? This is a form of content, really, your reputation. And people don't always view it that way. But people do expect to see some reviews. It's pretty much a constant now that you do see this on most people's websites, or in some. So whenever I go and they don't have it at all, I'm kind of like, that's interesting that they don't have that. You know, you have your basics, like how do I get a hold of you? Where are you located? Tell me what people think of you, kind of thing. So we really try to help businesses make sure they're hitting it on all 3 of those marks. Okay. And then once we get into level 4, this is where we're really kind of revisiting the basics and saying, okay, now we've got our community in place. We've got a good reputation system in place. We know that's dialed in. What can we do to enhance the foundation that we built in level 1? So that's looking at your Google business profile, your website, your social. If you have an app, just what tweaks can we do to make it even better, to attract, to be more consistent with the content, to maybe just, represent yourself even better than maybe you did the first time around. Looking at the conversion pieces. How am I communicating? What are my call to actions? What kind of follow-up am I doing? Do I have a newsletter? Do I have some kind of a birthday club, or a happiness club, or a money club, or whatever it is that applies to your particular business? Am I doing something that makes people feel they're a special part of my group? So that's where we revisit those. And then once we've got those where we want them, we have our level 5. This is the traffic. This is really the thing everybody wants, the people coming to see us. And depending on, again, your business model and who you're attracting, you may or may not incorporate some local SEO, which is where we're really putting the listings. Especially if you have a location that people visit, this can be really helpful. Optimizing listings where your business is throughout the web in different directories, etc., as well as content. Making sure for those local businesses, especially the competitive, like home services, chiropractors, spas, different ones, even restaurants, just where they appear in the search can be really impactful. If you have a more unique business, that might not be as difficult to get on that first page, but for others, it's something to really consider, and giving that a boost there so that the search results are good. Then we have the positioned ads, which they can be search or social. You're going to pay for those top spots and exposure. So search is, hey, I'm looking for a particular thing. I put a particular keyword or what I'm looking for in, and results pop up. So that's really like the ultimate place that someone's got great buyer intent at that point, because they're actually searching for it. And when they show up in those first page results, it's, we're pretty good. And if we've got our reputation dialed in and they go to our website and they're like, wow, this all looks consistent. They look like they have their stuff together. They know what they're doing. They're organized. They got content posted on social. That's kind of how the buyer cycle goes from that point. We also have the positioned ads on social. The challenge with those is that those are more of a interruption as we think of them. They're interruption marketing, because some people really just I've seen lots of comments where people get annoyed with ads on social media because they keep popping up in their feed, and they just are interested in, I just want to see my friend's dog, or, wedding pictures from this weekend, or whatever it is. We go on social media to be social, not necessarily to be sold to. So there's a balance there in putting the message out there, but also not being so intrusive that we're interrupting their day. And then we've got the targeted advertising, which remarketing or retargeting, if you have not heard of that, is a great way. Someone's visited your website. We can utilize a pixel to then have your message pop up when they go other places online. You've probably seen that with some of probably more the major brands, because they spend a lot of money on that. But we can do it for smaller businesses as well, and just kind of follow them around the web for a period of time. We can also do it based on their geographic location. We can also do it from email open. So there's some different things we can do there that once they've taken an interest in you for some reason, we can keep targeting them going forward. We also can do that in video or display ads. So those are the two types of ads we're typically going to do when we do that remarketing there. Okay, so this is really the attracting of new customers, but you also have the extra benefit when you're doing this traffic piece of showing up and being visible and staying top of mind with others as well. So you definitely get an extra bonus there. And so just to kind of recap, and this is, a lot of times people want some kind of a checklist. And once I get through this screen, if you need a screenshot to kind of go over everything, this is the place that you're going to get that checklist for yourself. So in level 1, we talked about the foundation. This is your website, your social, your Google, if you're doing Google, whatever directories and things that are going to be the places where people find you, and you want to have the consistency there. So if you're doing something, be consistent, particularly with social. People try to do everything, and sometimes it's just better to do a couple things really well and then build from there as you can. And level 2 is the community. This is where we can think about, would I want a birthday club, a VIP club, some kind of newsletter, a membership, Facebook group, page, mobile app even. These are places where you can gather people and then think about how you're going to send your messages out. It could be multiple. Maybe you text and email, or you have your app and you do your push notifications for certain things, depending on how complex your strategy is and how much time or resources you have to manage some of these things. There's a lot of automations we can do, but the setup and the thought process is a key part when we go to do something like this, so we can put a good structure in place. And then the next level is reputation. And as I said, there's the 3 parts of that. There's the building, the managing, and the marketing. And, a lot of people hit on maybe 1 or 2 of these. Very rarely do I see a business that really has a strategy and a process in place for all 3 of these. And this is a level that's really, levels 1, 2, and 3 are really impactful, whether you're a local business or your audience is primarily found online. They're kind of looking for the same things when they're searching out your services. And then level 4 is that enhancement level, where we've got the first 3 levels, we've got our foundation, we've got a system for pulling our people together. We know that they're going to see good reputation, reviews, testimonials, however that is listed on your particular page or on your assets online. They're going to see good stuff. So now we're going to take it to the next level. How can we make it even better? How can we convert more? What kind of things can we do to personalize our information that we're sharing with them so that they connect with us? I've heard anywhere from, 6, 8, 10 times people have to see you or see your message before they do business with you. That's not always the case, but in a lot of times, it's a very distracted world. It's a very, challenging to find somebody that, like and trust on a particular thing. So people are really cautious sometimes. And then we want to find ways to just stay real top of mind with them and make sure that our message is the one that they remember when it is time, when they do need some help, or they are facing some kind of a challenge that they need a fix to, that we're what they think of. So we've got the social posting, the blog, the retargeting, CRM and follow-up. All of those are components to be thinking about at that level if you haven't already, got that in place. And then level 5, the traffic, is your local SEO. Like I said, there's content, the reputation reviews falls into that. Social media falls into that. A lot of that impacts the local SEO, or just SEO in general, because there is nationwide SEO, or, online, just general SEO. We can do search terms for that too. So all of that stuff builds into the SEO, and then we can do some things just to enhance it, make sure the keywords are right. And the things that your people would search for is what they would find you for. Like if you have a very unique business, you may be one of the few people that they might find if they search for a particular term. So you can definitely utilize that. Then of course the paid search and the video and display ads that we would use for that. So that is the overall, in a snapshot, each level you can think about. And depending on where you are, you may say, okay, I can check this box, I can check this box over here. And you may find that you have some things from each of these levels already dialed in or in the works. And this will just present some opportunities for you to think about some other things in some different ways. So like I said, where are you today? That's definitely the question I always ask someone is, regardless of where you are, how can you level up your marketing? How can you, create a stronger foundation and build on these different levels to just really feel like you have the most solid strategy in place? All right, that is all my information. I'm happy to take any questions. I covered a lot of stuff, and I definitely know that sometimes we have some questions pop up. So I'm going to stop my share here so that I can see everybody's face. Did it stop sharing?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
All
All right.
right.
Who's got it? Donna's got her hand right up there.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So my Google business profile, because I'm a
Mhm.
financial advisor, they limit me
Yeah.
being able to use that. Actually, it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they're loosening things there and we're trying, but
Yeah.
how else can I strengthen that SEO? I've had so many people do my reviews and they're like, until you have Google business, you're just not going to be popping up. So how else can I strengthen it when I don't have that?
So from the SEO perspective, like your website is huge, knowing what keywords people would search for, making sure they show there, using those keywords in your social, using those keywords if you're doing videos. I don't know what all you're doing, Donna, so I'm just throwing some things out there, but anything you're doing, like making sure you have the right keywords is huge, because that's really, somebody's going to sit at their keyboard, they're going to key something in, and you want to be what pops up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Who else has a question for, yeah, Stacy, go ahead.
Well, I definitely am what you described. Like I have stuff in one is solid. And then from here on out, it's like I have enough in each one that each thing's churning, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting the Google stuff. I have Google profile, not, business profile. That's good. I'm constantly asking for testimonials from my clients. They're not necessarily always interested in giving them.
Right.
So I usually, when I'm done working with a client, I usually send a Google form and I ask a ton of questions. And at the end, I say, are you open to giving a testimonial? And if so, great. And by the way, if you're comfortable, can you just click on this link and just copy and paste your testimonial into my Google business page? They're not always comfortable doing that, especially because I'm a trauma coach. So people are like, I don't really want anybody to know that I'm working with you, or like do the work for whatever reason. So I have some, and it's great, and I do respond, like you said, but I don't nearly have as much as I would like because people are apprehensive.
Yeah.
And then my other challenge right now is I've been using GoDaddy to host my site and use their website builder from the get, just because when I first started, it was inexpensive and I just wanted a calling card. I used to do marketing, so I was consciously not optimizing it, only because I was just throwing it up and I never optimized it. And most of my business is referral based. So for me, it was really about having a place for people to land.
Sure.
But now, as I'm working with someone that's helping me with my marketing and we're doing targeted ads for some workshops that I'm hosting, I can't put a pixel. So there's only you see what I'm saying? Like, because they're very limited. And we've been talking about upgrading my website builder, if you will, like where I'm building my website, because GoDaddy doesn't give you a spot for a pixel. And so I'm limited on the type of advertising that I can do through Google, through the search ads. It's working to a point. All the people that are registering for my workshop are brand new leads, which is phenomenal. But I can't really track it the way I'd like to because I can't drop the pixel. So we're talking about moving into a new website builder. I don't know if you're familiar with Kajabi. But I'm thinking about doing that because I'm going to try to offer, if I'm going to pay for Kajabi, I will be offering.
You better use everything in Kajabi. Email,
next year.
course creation.
It's the only way I would do it. I was like, maybe I should just buy it now. So I'm like committed to building these courses. Because otherwise I would not spend that atrocious amount of money every single month. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in that spot. I don't know anything about how to hack into Google, GoDaddy and find a spot to drop a pixel. Yeah.
Well, I haven't really worked with the GoDaddy builder, so I don't know the hack for you. Yeah. The only idea I could possibly throw out is maybe finding a way to use, and I don't know your setup. So, if, these courses that you're doing, could you create a landing page in something else
So that's what
and
we
put the
did.
pixel there? Okay.
We're using ConvertKit.
Okay.
So we have that loop around, right? And
Yeah.
the courses I'm offering right now, they're just free workshops. Is just a way to continue to spread the message and get people interested in what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we do have that. We've used ConvertKit. And I think if I do move over to a more sophisticated platform, there's things I can drop, like ConvertKit, like Buzzsprout, where I host my pod, like all of these different things I can start to drop because it'll all be in one spot.
Right.
But it was good to see you lay it out, because I'm like, okay, I've got literally stuff from every single one. It's like spinning plates.
Yeah. And it is, and it changes, and something new comes out and you're like, oh, I want that thing. It's like there's constantly something coming, but the basic foundations kind of stay the same. Like, even though these new platforms come and go, the basic ideas and the format of the different levels has been pretty consistent over probably the last 7 to 10 years. Like, it's flexed a little bit in what's available and how easy it is to maneuver, but it's a basic foundation you can kind of push back on.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Jade, is Kajabi crawled by Google, the Google bots? Do you know? I was like, WordPress is always like the one I always hear. It's like, get WordPress.
I have not worked with Kajabi either. Like, I could find the answer out to that. I mean, anything I think can be crawled. Certain things, like, I know some of the platforms I work for, you can set it to be indexed or not be indexed, and that makes a difference. So there might be some things in there that, if you know what you're doing, a lot of people use it. So I would think that,
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I would invest in something like Kajabi is to start creating evergreen content. So I can start, providing more of that kind of education. And
It's a great platform.
I know, it's just really
it's an investment, but
it's an investment.
You plan on using every inch of it.
Like, I'm literally thinking I'm going to start building that. This is a little off topic, but I'm going to start building all the content now and pray that there's like some sort of like Black Friday special and have it ready to go and like hit buy and then just start to pop it in, because it is going to be an investment, but you got to spend to make sometimes.
Yeah, sounds like right.
Yeah. Donna says, when you build it, they will come. So I feel like, definitely mulling in my head.
That's some good.
Yeah.
Nicole, good to see you, sweetie.
Hi. I have a couple questions. One, what is a pixel?
Pixel,
I'm a digital photographer, so a pixel to me is very digital.
Yeah, a pixel is like a little piece of code that Facebook has a pixel. Google has pixels. They go, when you visit the website, that pixel attaches to you and follows you around so that it can throw up display ads to you. Facebook will do ads if it pixels you. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's code that's on the website when you visit there, or I also use it in email. So if you open the email, you've now been pixeled. And, my ads will show when you go in other places.
That's why when you search Pottery Barn, and all of a sudden Pottery Barn is all over your Facebook.
Right.
Okay, so does Squarespace have that? Do you know?
I don't know. I know, like, I've done it on Wix. I've done it on WordPress. You could probably just Google it and ask, like, how do I add a pixel to Squarespace? And someone's done a YouTube on it. That's how I usually figure things out on platforms that I'm not sure. Somebody has shared that information, usually.
So the other thing is, you mentioned about responding to all reviews, and I do that. But my question is when you receive a really good review, is there something more you could say other than "thank you so much for your review, I really appreciate your kind words"?
Sure. I mean, you can be more descriptive of, you probably know the person. You can talk a little bit about, like, it was great working with you on XYZ, or, you can even make an offer. That's one thing that people don't do a lot in their responses, is maybe you have something else that that they can do next in addition to what they just did. So you can kind of have a response with them, but also the other people are going to see that and be like, oh, that sounds like a cool, so you're kind of dual purposing the review there.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you have suggestions on what to include on a landing page? What would be best to include on a landing page?
Other than your basic content, of course, like strong call to actions, make it easy for them to get a hold of you. Whether, like, it depends what your next action is. So if you give me an example of a landing page, I could probably help with that a little bit more. Like is it for a specific class? Is it, you basically want your call to actions. How can they get questions answered? You want them to, get a really good understanding of what you're offering. Of course, the whole copywriting sales process is there. And yeah, and just you too. Like, one of the things I think a lot of people don't do is do a good job, particularly when you are kind of like representative of your business, of putting yourself there and letting them get to know you as well. So those would be my top things just off the top of my head.
Nicole, have you claimed your Google business page for because Nicole actually has a brick and mortar location. Have you claimed that yet, Nicole?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, good. That'll
Yeah,
help.
my Google's up, my Google's running. I have a home page on my website, and I guess I was told I need a landing page too. And I'm like, oh, okay. So just
A landing page for what, Nicole? I'm just curious.
I thought it was like, yes, for my business.
So a landing page, I would have to know what the person was. Typically, a landing page is for some kind of offer that you're doing, like a very focused offering. So maybe that might be what they're talking about, depending on what they were looking at. Because if you have your website, you have your homepage, you're giving your basic information there. A landing page is often where someone will set it up to have an ad go to for something very specific, to track that traffic, to focus someone in, not on all of the general stuff about you, but on a very specific thing, is my use of a landing page. So I don't know if that resonates with what they were saying.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Thank you, Jen. I was taking notes and reminders to myself because I haven't really paid much attention to my anything besides social media so far this year. And I'm like, gotta get back to blogging, Jill. You gotta maybe
It's a lot.
Just
Yeah.
the feed magnet approach a little bit. So thank you for getting those getting the cobwebs dusted off.
Sure.
And I really need to work on increasing traffic to my website. So again, all good reminders for me. So thank you for that. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for Jade this morning? It was some great content today.
Is there anything maybe you could suggest to put on the homepage that would get them to click past the homepage?
What do you want their next step to be? When I come to your homepage, what do you want me to do? What's your ideal action?
I guess find out about like upcoming workshops and sign up for them.
Does your page say that? Nicole, I can look at your page. Put your is your page in the chat? Because I can always look at it and tell, and not even necessarily right here, but I can always offline. Yeah, I can always look at it offline and kind of see what. So just make sure it's in the chat, and then I can.
Maybe you guys can set up a coffee date or something.
Yeah, yeah, we can set up some time that I could look at it and give you some feedback on it. Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Jade, for doing that.
Sure. Sure.
It's so nice we have all these wonderful resources and virtual networkers to help us with all these many facets of our the spinning plates, as you said earlier, Jade. We got a lot of them. All right. Well, thank you again, Jade, so much. If you have any further questions, everybody just drop them in the chat box for Jade. And Jade, your info's in the chat box. I think I saw that as I was scrolling.
Yes.
So if anybody needs to reach out to her, her email address is in there. And if you have a coffee date link, Jade, feel free to drop that in as well. So we're going to.
And Jill, can I because I just pulled up Nicole's site real quick just to give her some quick
Yeah, go
feedback.
ahead.
And the first thing I would say is that whatever you want them to do, put it above the fold. And what I mean by above the fold, in that very first section that I see. So when I pull up your website, I'm not sure what you want me to do. As like, I can scroll down and I start, like your buttons, I would make your buttons probably bigger. I have some other things too, but these are just like top of mind when I first look at it, because your images and everything else stands out. But, and then the newsletter is at the bottom, and that's cool. I can sign up for that, but it's not clear to me what you really want me to do. Like, it's not a clear call to action, just as someone who doesn't know and who's just getting that first impression. But I'll look at it some more. I have some other ideas too. So that was just my first top of mind.
Thank you. I appreciate that feedback.
Sure.
Awesome. Always good tips for all of us too. Go look at your website. Is the next step clear? Yeah. All right, ladies. Thank you again, Jade, for that wealth
Sure.
of knowledge. Such a good presentation. Okay. So Donna, do you want to go real quick for your announcements before you head off into the wild blue yonder?
Thank you so much. Just wishing everyone a very happy July. I enjoy my Tuesday mornings with you ladies. It's a good reason to get up, get into the office a little early, have my coffee, and spend it with good friendship. So thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Donna. I'll go next with announcements. I'll ask Jade to go after me. We are just started the summertime coffee date challenge, ladies. If you haven't done a thing with it, you're not behind at all. You're just where you need to be. I did put a link in the my chat box where, my entry there for the link to the Google Sheet. I'll get the words out to the Google Sheet. And there's a tab there that says members info. If you want to go in there and just make sure your email address is correct. And if you have a coffee date link, you can drop it in that column. And if you're like me and you don't have a coffee date link, you can just leave instructions or leave it blank, whatever you like to do there. But just want to remind you about that and make sure you put your points in. Because I've already sent out stickers that say Coffee Date Queen, and I want to send them to you all too. So please make sure you do that. Also, a reminder, we do have the Mighty Networks, and in there is a LinkedIn engagement pod, which has been around, but we also just added the Instagram engagement pod. So if you're more active on Instagram, please go and check that out, and you can drop links, and we will elevate and amplify your posts. Just a reminder, this is we're taking a little break. We will not be meeting in July. So any Tuesday in July, no meeting. We will resume in August 1st, I think is the right date, with a coffee date party, kind of ease us back in. So please make sure to mark your calendars. The other chapters are still moving and grooving. So if you need some networking, Laura's is going, Connie Joe's is going, Victoria's is going, Leah's is going, so you can go there. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for me. So I'll toss it over to Jade and then Stacy.
Okay, cool. So I have a new resource for local SEO. I don't know if you guys, that applies to you or not, but it may be some good tips. I'm going to put that into the chat box. That's a new thing. And if anybody does have any questions after this and you want to reach out to me, like, feel free to do that. I will definitely be happy to look at anything that you're doing, just to give you my basic feedback and ideas if you have a challenge. So
that's awesome. Thank you, Jade. That's so generous. See Stacy, then Nicole.
All right. So first, Jade, thank you for you really made such a good job of I like the way that you organized the presentation and put it into blocks, like the way, so many different ways that you did, so we could kind of see where we're doing great, where there might be a deficit. That was really helpful. I want to offer out that I have I have 2 free offerings for people right now above and beyond my discovery calls that anybody can just access, that are both in the chat. One is I'm doing a free workshop. I did one in June. I'm going to be doing one in July as well, called What is Trauma Really? And I do it over Zoom. And the first 45 minutes is presentation. And then the next 45 minutes is open conversation. And it was just absolutely wonderful last month, because it was a nice, tight group of women who really wanted to come in and get support and get help and ask questions about things that they've experienced and why it might be keeping them stuck in adulthood. So that's free. I'm offering it 3 different times that day to try to increase as many people as possible, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 8 p.m. So you can register for that. And then I also have a free ebook that is a companion to that anybody can download at any time. And I put the link in for that as well. So anybody interested in trauma or why they might be stuck, those are good 2 resources.
Excellent. Gosh, Stacy, you're kicking butt. Good for you.
Oh my God.
Send that kid to college and she's doing 3 workshops in one day. Holy crap.
Oh my God. My husband had a dream that he texted us and said, I think I have a fever. And my husband said, well, did you take your temperature? And he said, no, we forgot to pack a thermometer. And he goes, oh my God, maybe we should send him a thermometer. I'm like, no, the moment you send him a thermometer, he's going to tell you he has a fever. Like, don't send him a thermometer. So
He'll be fine. That's so funny. I love it.
Not worried about it.
Nicole, what announcement you got for us?
I do have some Pocket Pause workshops scheduled for Thursday evenings. If you're interested in doing that, open tinker time. If you know anybody locally who wants to come and play around and have some fun. I guess that's about it right now.
It's good to see you. I'm glad
I feel
you're
like such a slacker compared to Stacy. Oh my God.
I think you're probably busy.
You're doing amazing things, Stacy. I'm proud of you.
All right, ladies, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad that I could get to see everybody again. We'll see each other in a month-ish, if not sooner, and I'll get the replay and chat box out to you. Jade, thank you again for coming. Feel free to visit us once we're back in the groove.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, sweetie. Take care, everyone.
Great.
Have a
Bye.
good- Bye.
Thanks.